meeting Sunny Leone, Neeraj, the javelin, our famous Indian. After my bachelor, I got campus placement, got job, started working. I explored diving. I didn't tell my parents. Once I was diving, I had this jellyfish around my face and had really bad scars all the way here and around my neck.
But a very risky career choice coming from a middle class family.
This 5 minutes underwater which changed my whole perspective towards water. I was also in INS Viraat.
Tell us about scuba diving. What does scuba diving even mean?
Self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. Life is beautiful underwater, just to put it in a simple word. But it's ocean, oceans of opportunities. So there are many things which we don't know yet. Everyone says that we know more about moon than what is underwater in the ocean.
So how does one become a scuba instructor?
A parent would push his son or daughter where there is a competition. You learn swimming because there is a swimming competition. You learn running because there is running competition. Diving is just a hobby.
There's a story that I heard about you about making a friend underwater. Have you ever seen a doomsday fish or anything similar bizarre underwater?
Fish doesn't breathe.
So tell us, Divewithshetty, do you need to know swimming to scuba dive? Are sharks generally attracted to human blood?
So Chinese market was fully influenced to get the shark fin. They catch sharks just to cut their fins off and they leave the rest of the shark. Sharks eat humans. I would say sharks are like any other fish with the name shark.
How's the work-life balance for such a career? How has this India-Maldives tension affected tourism? What's your personal opinion on Lakshadweep as a diving destination?
It is beautiful. We should explore it, but we should not exploit it.
Tell us about your 3,000 plus dives that you've done so far.
It's a step-by-step process, starting with dive number 1. I was a beginner like everyone else who started their very new beginning dive, scared, not knew what I'm doing. I was a non-swimmer. That led me express and explore more things and led me all the way till here.
Tell us about growing up in Kundapura.
So, I'm from a very small village called Kondalli. Grew up in a joint family. I would call it a middle-class family. Not that we cannot call ourselves poor, we cannot call ourselves rich. I was a quiet kid from a very conserved family, not exposed to many things. Drinking, smoking is all taboo, like how every Indian family thinks as of now. Never exposed to these things and always stayed away from them. Yeah.
Were there any adventures early on in your life to lead you on towards diving?
I would say no. I was always interested towards water, but the most thing I did is like go to beach and make my feet wet and feel that sand's moving away from your feet. That's the only experience I had with sea.
Tell us about your family, how supportive they were about your journey.
After my bachelor, I got campus placement, got job, started working. I explored diving. I didn't tell my parents, my mom and dad, that I started diving. But I moved to a different city for a different position in the company and I started diving. So I was not that fair kid who was in AC room anymore. Now I'm tanned. So I come back home dark, like now why are you dark? So it's just because I'm in Chennai, you know, it's hot weather. And then I come back home next time with the scars on my face because once I was diving, I had this jellyfish around my face and had really bad scars all the way here and around my neck. That is the time where I had to really disclose my story, you know, because it stayed almost 6 months, like all like tattoos. So that's where I really had to tell my parents, okay, I'm not doing the same job anymore. I'm learning something new.
Oh. But a very risky career choice coming from a middle class family.
Yes, but I realized.
Were there hardships within your family?
Yes, I'm a single child. It's like my parents struggled to upbring me and like they gave me education. It's always, you know, always learning, giving back, and now I had the responsibility of the family like any other middle class families. So it was hard for me to move out from this job and try something new. But I was not happy with what I was doing. I had to look for something new and then diving happened.
What was the first instance of seeing water? Where did you see water that really made you sort of give you this push?
It was never planned to dive. I didn't know anything about scuba diving until the evening we saw the signboard scuba diving. So we just decided to dive because we saw something. Like we are in Goa. I did my first dive in Goa. We are in Goa. We saw a signboard saying scuba diving. We called them, I want to dive. They're like, okay, come tomorrow morning. And even until on the boat, I was least bothered about what I'm doing because they were seeing some dolphins, or they gave some briefings on the boat. I heard nothing. And even when we were on the dive site, I remember a few people who finished the dive, they're like, this is so difficult, we can't do it, and you cannot do with the pressure and these kind of things. But I was not bothered at all. But this 5 minutes underwater, which changed my whole perspective towards water.
Wow.
Yeah.
But during our conversation, you also mentioned that early on in your life, you were part of the NCC.
Yes, yes.
How was that?
During my college days, I got into NCC. There is a NCC naval wing, so I was part of it. I started as a cadet and then until the senior cadet captain. During this period, I was also in some different camps, out of which one is in INS Viraat. It was one of the aircraft carriers of Indian Navy, and which is decommissioned now. So we had a camp to stay on this, and we also had opportunity to be in that ship for like almost 10 days.
Wow.
And also we had opportunity to sail on a different Navy ship to experience this. And this also gave us opportunity. I think this is the time where India purchased INS Vikramaditya. We got to go in this, be on this deck. They also presented a presentation on how they land the MiGs or the aircrafts on that, which has to connect to the hook on the runway. So it was always fascinating. And then there was also a camp called All India Navsainik. This was in INS Kadamba in Karwar. So you get to stay inside naval base. There's always connection towards water and this in my life. With different things, different circumstances, I couldn't push forward to join the defense.
Amazing. Yeah, you would. I'm sure you would have become a great naval officer. So tell us about scuba diving. What does scuba diving even mean?
So the scuba diving starts with the word scuba. It's self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. That's the whole equipment, the thing what you breathe, right? So this is the opportunity which you get as a human to breathe underwater. So you take air with you to breathe. So most of us, we think we take oxygen, but this is not oxygen, this is just a normal air. We just take normal air underwater to breathe, and we stay underwater like a fish. So just to put it in a simple words. So this comes with different equipments and different training, different level of practices to go underwater and dive.
So what made you quit your job really to pursue diving in this seriousness?
I was not happy with the desk job. So because I like to do something with the physical touch and feel. It's not something just think this is not me, which I explored as I was working. And as I tried diving, I just thought I will get the basic open water license. This will, at least have a hobby as diving. But when I did this, I also realized diving is an expensive hobby. You cannot just keep go diving if you work in a normal IT job or if you're from a middle class. The easy option is to become a diver and also take this as a career, and it was more challenging and more interesting. I also had support from my friends and things, so this would push me to try this. Yeah.
Wow. I want to scale back to the Goa conversation because Goa always intrigues everybody. Take us back to that first moment underwater in Goa. What did it feel like? So
when I tried diving, I didn't know much about diving. So like any other tourist, I was one among this. So found I don't know the dive center name. I don't even know if the dive center exists. I don't even know the instructor. So they just gave the briefing on the boat. They made us practice on the boat, and we reached the dive site and they had a ladder. So the instructor with you, he takes you to the last step and he breathes from your alternative air source, which is not safe practice of diving. I know this now because I teach diving. Back then it was wow. So I was not even wearing fins. He was holding on top on my BCD. It just takes me to last step, just do some basic skills. He also gave me, I think, some breadcrumbs, if I'm not wrong. So the fish comes to you, so you don't go looking for fish. So I still remember, I think I found sunglasses of someone. It was right next to me, and that was like my first treasure I found underwater.
So do you collect treasures every time you go amongst your 3,000 dives?
Most of my dives are always teaching.
Okay.
But like any other person, I'm a curious person, but I don't stop my curiosity just there. I will go forward. I also have a underwater metal detector. If I have a free time, I go looking for some so-called treasure. But yeah, it's adventure.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, coming from an Indian coastal town and being a single child, how easy or tough was it to convince your parents for this unconventional career choice?
By the time my parents knew that I am a diver, I was already
It was too late.
dive master. Yeah. So it's about for my parents, because I never stopped supporting them even with this all this journey. So after my 3 months of my basic training, I started working with the same dive center as a dive master intern, and I was also handling their finance and things, because I had little bit computer skills from my old studies and my experience, so I could assist them with this. I was also assisting them with the social media managing and things, and I always fascinated about photos, and I was using their cameras to make some photos and things. So somehow I had support from this same dive center. I was learning, studying. Same time I could also afford supporting my parents. I never stopped this. So this made my parents still trust me that okay, he's not going to forget us, and he will always support us. So I think that somehow we found a balance. But I think my mom didn't really know what exactly diving was for a long time.
Is there any memorable conversation that you remember when you shared this news to them?
My parents are like, my dad is like, we are very close. We are like friends. Even though we are from a very small family, we openly discuss things. I have this confidence, I could tell him things. And if something is not right, he will say it's not right. But still I could talk to him. But with my mother, she is like the strong character in the family. And she's sensitive to this. She is very emotional. She's the one who always, you need to convince her more. But you need to be very, it's a step-by-step information. If you give the whole bowl, it's too much for her to take it. So, not any specific conversation I remember with them, but every time I gave them little bit, it's like, yeah. So just made them comfortable with this topic, yeah.
Wow. So they're fine now, they're happy with your choice.
Yeah, I didn't show them any photos and videos about diving, what I really do for a very long time. So they saw me diving maybe after 1 year after my instructor course, maybe, yeah. But don't lie to them.
Tell us about life underwater. Are there things that we should be scared about? Are there things that we should be really curious about that people have not seen yet?
Life is beautiful underwater, just to put it in a simple word. But it's oceans of opportunities. So there are many things which we don't know yet. So we dive, we explore, but still there is a saying, I think, this is what everyone say, that we know more about moon than what is underwater in the ocean. So it's true. So we don't know everything. Every day we dive, you find something interesting, something new, but you go in a safe and a sound way. So you explore. You always respect it. You don't take it for granted, I would say. You always think in a way that I know something, but I don't know everything. There is something new. Always be open to learn something new.
What makes teaching challenging? You're an instructor now.
So as a dive instructor, you teach someone from 8-year-old to the time until they're fit to dive and until they want to dive. So the thing is, you meet people from different age group, different cultural background, different language, and different experience with water. So not everyone treats water the same way. So not everyone sees ocean same way. So it's important for you to understand what this person comes from, what they see this as. Then it's easy for you to teach. You're in a group of 4 people, not all the 4 are same respect towards ocean, right? So you have to understand what makes them understand right. It might be same information, you put it differently to them based on their understanding capability.
How did you move from open water courses to becoming an instructor?
So open water is what we call the first step of diving career. Diving, what we call in the diving. This is your first step. After this, you take your advance, and then you learn about rescue courses, and then you do the dive master. So this is a step-by-step process. So my initial thought was only to become an open water diver. I started diving on a shipwreck. That's in Chennai. It was a newly explored dive site. I was exploring myself in this place as well. and the dive center was so excited to know about this dive site. We have a very limited visibility. It's 130-meter long shipwreck. You don't see even 10% of it in one glance, right? So you have to dive and see it step by step. So you collect your thoughts. So my initial dives were like, I just see something, it can be rock, I don't know what it is, right? I come on the board, the divers who are already diving, they discuss like, we saw this part of the wreck, we saw this fish. I'm like, I just saw something, I don't know what is this. So that was my experience. So, but this made me curious. So, and I quit my job now and I go back there to do my whole courses till Dive Master. And I only learned there is something called Dive Master. You know, when you say the word Dive Master, it sounds wow, right? Dive Master. I thought this is the ultimate dive master. So I thought I will want to be dive master because now I don't have to pay for my dive. I can also get a job and I get to dive as many times as I want. So once I finished my dive master course, then by the time, you know, when I started this, I also got to know more information. The dive center where I did my dive master, they said, hey, you shouldn't stop here. You have to go further with this. So why not you become an instructor? This thought led me to become an instructor. It's a funny story. I just remember now. Like six months before I become instructor, I go home and my mom believes in God, so she is a fully spiritual person. My dad is so and so. I'm like, whatever my mom believes, that's what I believe. So I remember she says she met one of the astrologer. He says in 6 months I'm gonna fly overseas. I'm like, there is no concept of diving. I didn't try diving yet. So I'm still studying in this, working in the same IT company, and I'm like, with this job, there is no way. Maximum I might reach Bengaluru. There is nowhere overseas. So my life changed so much. In 6 months, actually, I quit my job, started learning diving. I actually went to Indonesia to do my instructor course. I'm like, how? You know, that still surprises me. Like, this is still the shock of my life. Like, how could someone predict so much and like things can just change? Like, there is no thought from my side I would be a diver, and also I would fly overseas.
Oh, that was fate for you.
Yeah.
Wow. So how does one become a scuba instructor? Can you give us the step-by-step process for the people listening on, and what kind of certifications, trainings are involved?
There are many agencies widely known as what we call PADI or SSI or STI. There are many. They all fall under a big term or big team, what you call RSTC, Recreational Scuba Training Certification or Center. So they all follow these standards. As long as someone follow these standards, they can start giving certification. So PADI is one of the widely known, but there is nothing competition between. There is nothing wrong with PADI or SSI or this. This is just different names like Adidas, Puma, something like Reebok. So you start with your basic. First of all, I would say you should dive only if you feel for it. You know, if you want to be instructor, you should feel for it. Anyone can be diver, but not everyone can be a dive instructor. It's a bigger responsibility. It's just not like just teaching any other thing. Now you're teaching something for someone's life. If someone is diving with you, they have to trust their whole life because they're trying something very adventurous for them. So you start as open water, then the next step, what we call advanced open water or the rescue diver. Then you also learn something called emergency first responder. This is not just about underwater, it's also on the land. You learn if you find someone in an accident, how you react for this. Or if you found someone with the electric shock, how to react for this. Or someone drowned, how to give CPR or how to administer oxygen. So you learn all these things and then you do the rescue diver course. This is about in a rescue scenarios of diving, how you react. And then you become a dive master. So during this period, you also do different specialties. Like you are fascinated about diving on a shipwreck, or you want to dive deeper, or you want to dive on something called diver propulsion vehicle. You must have watched this James Bond movie. He takes a scooter underwater. So you do these different specialties. Also, if you want to dive in the night. So you do these different specialties in this period. And Dive Master is the place where you learn everything about diving. So this is more about hands-on experience. You learn how to teach with the assistance of an instructor. Like, you know, you just watch how an instructor is teaching. Or you dive the dive site, you make a map of the dive site. So it's a bigger responsibility. You learn more about the operations of dive center. and then comes your assistant instructor and instructor. So this, just to put it in a simple word, this you learn based on what an agency wants you to teach. Like if I say PADI, like you will learn how a PADI wants you to teach. Now you are a PADI dive instructor. You get it?
Right.
So PADI wants you to teach this one this way. That's what you're going to learn as an instructor. But if SSI, you learn SSI instructor. You are going to be SSI instructor. You're going to teach SSI way of teaching. So this is what you learn in an instructor course. It's a very short period, like 15 to 20 days. You go through some exams, do some skills, and you learn how this organization wants you to teach.
Are there any cost implications involved?
Yes, it's an expensive hobby compared to any other things. It's expensive, but also the prices differ from places to places where you do it. Like example, if you do it in Maldives, it's gonna cost like somewhere around $1,000, like around 85,000 Indian rupees for just an open water course. If you do the same thing in India, you would pay somewhere around 30 to 40,000 Indian rupees.
What's the most difficult part of becoming a dive master or instructor?
So the most difficult part is understanding. So understanding the hands-on experience, because what's written in the book, it's easy for you to study and understand. This is up to you. But in real life scenarios, it's different from person to person. So every little information what you learn in a dive center, it is an experience, because once you're instructor, you're on your own. You don't learn, you don't have anyone to push you to do this, right? So you don't have someone to teach you. Now you're an instructor. You already start teaching. So whatever you learn in this period as a dive master. Whatever you experience, you get it as a dive master. So you should never stop yourself. Okay, I did 60 dives. Like this is what PADI says or something. You need to have 60 dives to go to your instructor course or finish or start your dive master. But the 60 dives is not going to give you enough experience that what you need as an instructor. So before you become instructor, you should be ready, not just theoretically, practically, that I can face this. Once that is done, then you're ready as an instructor.
So this career choice of being an instructor, is it financially sustainable?
I would say no, but also it can sustain some people where they are working. So as India is not a big market for diving, we also have a lot of people, like our population is big, but we don't dive here. Because we don't want to pay money, it's expensive, and also something like this is not a competition for Indian parents. What I see around, a parent would push his son or daughter where there is a competition. You learn swimming because there's a swimming competition. You learn running because there's running competition. This is what the parents push to. You study, you become the first in the school, or something like this where there's a competition. Diving is just a hobby. There is no competition for this. This doesn't fascinate an Indian parent to send their children, hey, do this, because there is no competition. My son is not first, my daughter is not first, This mindset would not let people to go and try something like this. Some family, it's not everyone, there are some families, they tried diving, they want their children to experience it, go and experience something. But most of us we're still in this competition, we are in a league. My son, my daughter needs to be the first in something. So as there is no competition, there is no market for this in India.
How's the work-life balance for such a career?
It's very nice, I would say, because you start, let's say if you start your work at 6 in the morning, you only think about your work 6 in the morning. You don't have to prepare anything before that. You just get up and go to work, and you do, it's just a physical, you just keep the tanks ready, the tanks are already filled. And once you finish your dive, your job is done. So you don't have to think how I'm going to take the next person tomorrow for the dive. So your day finishes, and as the work finishes, you can sleep peacefully in the night. You don't have to think tomorrow, oh, I need to do this, it's still pending, I need to do that. No, everything is done. And tomorrow you meet a different person, and it's a different story again. They finish the dive, they come back and they say how you changed their life. That's the beautiful part you get after every dive and every experience.
So you must have some really good stories. How was diving in Indonesia with its unique marine life and dive culture? Did it shape you personally and professionally?
So I started diving only in India. So mainly most of my dives were in Chennai. So, and also one dive in Goa. I also did I think 2 dives in Kapu, which is in Udupi. But it's limited to this. As we have a long coastline, our see whatever the water is, it's not that clear. And many rivers keep flowing to the ocean. The bottom composition is clay. So it takes long time for the water to settle and get clear. So that's why the water visibility is not that wow. But diving is beautiful. Diving is nothing to do with the visibility. But we have this concept, when you see clear water, the diving is wow. But it never bothered me until I really saw the clear water. Even I wouldn't call it bothered me. I was diving in a very limited visibility dive sites. It was still fascinating. Everything is wow. That made me still continue to do instructor. I planned for my instructor course. I didn't really focus on this water being this clear. It was never a focus. It's about how to arrange this money, how I'm going to study, if I'm going to pass this or not, if I pass this, where I'm going to get jobs, all these questions. I reached Bali somewhere in the morning, like 3 in the morning, 6 o'clock. I had to take ferry to an island called Gilimeno. So I was sleeping by a window seat. Sun started shining, and then I just looked outside. I still feel that first experience of seeing the crystal clear water. I looked outside, it's just clean, you know. You can see the bottom. The boat is parked in a dock and you see the bottom of the sandy beach. I just went outside on the top and I made photos. I still have these photos, like first time I'm seeing the clear water. So I go to straight to dive center. I tell them I really want to dive. Like that's the first thing I did. I just dropped my bag, everything. I just joined the next dive trip, whichever is going outside. And I was underwater like a little kid, showing my instructor, look at that fish, look at that fish, look at this. Because it was first time I'm seeing something more than 30 meters or maybe like 20 meters. I was limited to this visibility or this. That excitement was something wow, like, you know. And then I started my instructor course. I realized I have been taught already and I have prepared for this, which I didn't know, because the dive center where I did my dive master, they focused so much on me and they gave me so much information, which is, I was already prepared for this. The what you call the course director who teaches the instructor course, she gave me a paper to check my knowledge. She said, you're good, because I already knew all this answer because these guys already taught me this. They prepared for me for the next step, which I was not aware. That made me easy to go through all the instructor course. This is also a place where I started my first career as an instructor. I worked there for some time. Also on free time, I got to use their cameras to make some photos, and that made me more fascinated towards it. And that's how everything changed, and that gave me a bigger picture. Like it was only limited to India, so you only grew up here. Going outside India is a difficult topic, and then once you go there, then you start saying, okay, now you have 2 countries. It's not that you can get job only in India, you can also get job here. And you meet different people from different countries and different experience. So that gave me a bigger picture on what else I could do.
Amazing, amazing. Tell us something about this equipment that scuba divers use. If you can just for the listeners be in detail about all the equipment that you guys use.
So when you look at the scuba gear, mainly what you see is a mask. That's what you can see underwater. Because of the airspace between the glass and your eyes, that's how you can see something underwater. And the next thing is your fins, which helps you to move. And then you have the important one, tank, which carries the air. And then what you call the jacket, or the BCD or BC, buoyancy compensator. This helps you to stay neutrally underwater, depending on whatever depth you are. Or once you're on the surface, you stay positive so that you don't sink underwater. This is one of the important tool. And then also something called regulator, which helps you breathe underwater. So this is connected to your tank and also to your BCD, which helps you to breathe and also to compensate your buoyancy. This is a simple scuba set. Then the most key point is your weights. So we all float, which we don't know, right? We all think if you go in the water, we sink, but naturally we all float. So we need weights to take us down underwater. We feel the scuba gear is so heavy, but this is either neutral or it's positive. It's going to float in the water. You need extra weights, which takes you underwater. So this is all the basic dive equipment. And also the important one, what you call dive computer. This helps you to know the depth, how long you can stay underwater, and this you learn as you do with the courses. So these are the basic.
Is there a certain depth that has been your personal best?
So as per, I'm a recreational scuba instructor. As per the standards, I can only go maximum 40 meters. officially.
You worked in Chennai, Gili Islands and Maldives. How do the diving cultures and marine biodiversity differ from each other?
The diving culture is same. You have fun. That's the main concept. Everyone dives who has passion towards it. But the what you call the preparations for the dive, the way you dive might change depending on what you see, marine lives around you, and the currents or the local conditions, and what else, the reefs, how they are. So the dive sites. Based on this, the dive site operations might differ, but end of the day, concept is same, and you use the same equipments.
There's a story that I heard about you about making a friend underwater. Tell us something about it.
So I consider it as a friend, but I don't know what this fish thinks because we come from a different world. So there was a place in Maldives where I was diving every day. Every day, at least once or twice, I cross this fish. This is a very curious fish. We call it damselfish. It has its little house, and it always stays outside, and it stays curious all the time. So I use this fish to distract my beginner divers. So I always showed this fish to them because it always stays in one place, and I know this distracts. It's very fast moving fish. And then slowly it started interacting with me. Like maybe it built its confidence to come close to me. So every time now I go underwater, I give my hand like this, because we human, we do this to everyone. So I gave the same gesture to it, and it started poking my hand every time. So this, like, I was like, wow, fascinated. Now I show this to my divers, they come and they do the same thing, and it doesn't go to their hand, like it only recognizes my hand. So that made me like, wow, like I think there is some connection between this. So as you dive every day, you start observing the behavior of the fish. It's not just a fish anymore. You see it every day. It's like the person you meet every day. You see some damage to this fish. You know something is cut in its fin, or something happened to its house, because you see it every day. So this was something for a very long time. Like I would say for 6 months something, I see this fish every day. And then I come home for vacation for like 2 months, and then I go back again. I do a dive. I just underwater, I just turn and I see this fish swimming towards me, like, oh wow, this fish kind of remembers me, like, you know. Then I felt like maybe like there's a connection between us. I'm not sure, maybe this fish built so much confidence to chase me away. Maybe, I don't know what's his story, but my story, like, okay, I see so much connection with this fish, which we interact with this every day, and it's more confident with me than any other divers. Maybe it knows the shape of me, or like what I wear, or my skin color, or how I behave. So this made me feel a special connection with one of the fishes. Yeah.
So that's a beautiful story. So does that mean that animals underwater sort of have a sense of humans being underwater also?
Yes. They see us. They are curious about us. You see their expressions. They feel scared. You see their expression. It's not just a fish swimming freely every time. Every time you go underwater, we make lots of sound. They're not used to this sound, especially bubbles. Every time you breathe out, we make, you know, lot of noise, which scares them. They're not used to this because they stay in a very silent and a quiet world. So we see in the drawing everywhere, when you draw the fish, you draw a fish, next to that you put 2 air bubbles. Fish doesn't breathe. You know, this is something we learn in the school. I don't know why. You draw a fish and you put 2 air bubbles on top of it, but fish doesn't make any sound and they don't breathe air like us. So but we go there and we make lots of noise. It takes some time for them to get adjusted to it. By looking at us, they're used to this sound. They respond to you and they get curious. You see their facial expressions. You see their mouth. You see their gills, how they react, how the body shapes, how they move. So everything indicates their different behaviors. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite dive site in the world?
I get asked this question many times by many people, but I would say I just love to be underwater. It doesn't matter which dive site. But there are beautiful dive sites I did dives with. Recently, I also did dive in Philippines. Few World War II shipwrecks. It's beautiful dive sites. And also did a dive on a lake which has a thermocline. There's after I think 12 meters something, the water temperature goes 39 degrees Celsius. It's super hot, and then after 22 meters something, it gets to normal temperature. This is like you feel like you're sweating underwater. So different experiences, but for me, I think I just love to be underwater. It doesn't. It's not connected to any dive site. Yeah.
Amazing. What's the one thing about marine life that still amazes you every single time you dive?
There is life which is macro than this. There are pictures of things which there are fish or something living thing which you can put it on your nail, and it still has its whole ecosystem, different colors, and there are so many things you see in the same place every time you dive. Every little details, every little coral gives life to another, shelter to another thing. They all support each other, you know, even though they're predator, they're someone dependent on something, but one shelters another shelters another. They all stay together as one cluster, you know, which it's hard to find in humans. In ocean, it still exists. They all support each other.
Wow, amazing. So you did mention the best as your favorite dive site, but are there good sites in India? Is India known for it?
Yes, as we have long coastlines, we have diving starting from Maharashtra, Mumbai, close to these places. You come south to Goa, and then even in Karnataka, starting in Netrani, Kapu, and also if you go down south to Kochi, even in Rameshwaram, Chennai. There are dive sites everywhere on the mainland of the coast. I think even in Visakhapatnam, if I'm not wrong. I would say the best place to dive in India is in Karnataka, the heart-shaped island, Netrani. This has a coral reef. You can see coral reef as it's little bit away from the mainland. You know, it's just 1.5 hours boat ride. So you see the coral reef and beautiful diving in this place, and it's easy accessible for us.
Amazing. So also I believe that I'm sitting next to royalty because I believe you're a celebrity hotspot because you've dived with some very famous personalities. How was that experience?
I wouldn't call it that way. I would say like I ended up in a resort or a place where all these celebrities are invited from the resort. I was just lucky to be in that place. So it's nothing to do with me. I just saw the real faces of these celebrities. We see them like, wow, they're celebrities. You need to run after them to make photos. They don't want to talk to everyone. But I think they come to this place where they are themselves. So that was the real beautiful part of it. And for me, once they're in front of me as a diver, I always treated them as my student. Even if it's you or celebrity, I give the same respect because under ocean doesn't know this, you know. Ocean treats you the same as anyone else, so you respect the same way. So it's important for me that this person understands what I say and I understand this person. But talking to them, like example, meeting Sunny Leone or D'Souza, the dancer, or Siddharth Nigam, or Neeraj, the javelin, our famous Indian javelin thrower. All these guys, I saw them in their real form. I saw them scared, you know, you don't see this. They are scared in the water. With Neeraj, we took some time to dive, like it was a challenge for him. He was not that comfortable when we started it, but he took it as a challenge. So we spent more time than usual, but he did it. We also made a video of he throwing javelin underwater, you know. Wow. So he was from that not comfortable to that comfortable person, and then he becomes so confident. Like you see this growth in this person. In this time, you face the real Neeraj or real Sunny Leone or real this person, the person what they are. So you have this conversation with them, and you see them so down to earth. They're like any other normal human being. So that was, I would say that's the greatest part which I got to experience them in their original form and not to see them as a celebrity. I'm lucky for this.
Great. How different is life in Maldives city compared to the beaches and resorts?
Maldives city is an administrative island, so most of the Maldivians go looking for lives there, and they build their lifestyle in this place. And resorts are artificially artificially designed for the tourists. So resorts survive based only on the tourists. So one island is designed for this. It has all the luxurious facilities which a hotel could offer to be called as a 5-star or 7-star or 3-star.
How has this India-Maldives tension affected tourism?
So it did affect a lot with Maldives. India was one of the highest tourist, Indian tourists were the highest number of people visiting Maldives. So when there was this tension, it stopped. But now, as they figured out their solution, and India and Maldives is in very good terms from a very long time, there is lots of tourism back and forth. Now I think it's normal.
Did that also affect the diving operations?
Indian divers we don't have many certified divers. We have a very small community of divers, and also the people who come to these resorts and things are very small community, because it's a very expensive place to dive. And even if it comes there, people who try there for the first time, mainly the honeymooners, what you meet there. So it didn't affect much on the diving community, but we did miss lots of beginner divers. Yeah.
Sure. What's your personal opinion on Lakshadweep as a diving destination?
It is beautiful. We should explore it, but we should not exploit it. So we should explore and enjoy every bit of it in a very healthier way and a respectable way. And because we still have option not to exploit it, because it's not fully, full power tourism yet. So we have option to save it.
Do you see a lot of these exploitation happening of the life underwater?
Yes. There are natural reasons and also human reason. The reasons what humans make, which changes overnight. The natural reasons are very slow and steady process, so which takes time. By then ocean fixes by itself, because it has its rhythm. What human does, you take a bulldozer and destroy a reef in half an hour. So this is something sudden change for the nature, which cannot overcome very fast. So in places like Maldives, they have resorts in the little islands. As they build this fancy water villas, this is all built on top of the so-called reefs. So to protect this during the monsoon, they use barriers around. They use the stones to protect the waves getting into the island. So this changes the direction of water. So as the direction of the water changes, the corals which dependent on this before, they don't get enough food or enough flow of water around them, and they eventually die. So this is what I noticed personally. This is my personal opinion, but I might be wrong because I'm not a marine biologist. I just observed these things. With my observation, I feel playing with the nature is going to affect on the other side of the reef.
Amazing. Great. Is there a myth about scuba diving that people should know about?
The main thing is about sharks eat humans. I would say sharks are like any other fish with the name shark. But you also have to understand sharks are predators in their world. You need to respect them. You need to respect any other fish. A fish of this size can be more poisonous or more venomous. So you need to be careful and respecting this fish as much as you should respect a shark. So there is no shark would want to eat us because we are not their food.
But what's the most dangerous thing, life underwater, what is the most dangerous thing that you've seen or believe is there?
So the common concept is shark. We think shark is dangerous, but shark is not that aggressive. They are like fish. You can also go and check in your Instagram. There is a person called Ocean Ramsey. She is a free diver. She gives more information about the sharks, how to see the behaviors and their observations and things. And she also dives only with the sharks and things. But on our day-to-day regular dives, we see something called a triggerfish, which is of this size fish. This is a very aggressive fish during their nesting season. So they build their nest on the sandy bottom and they stay here. Like as a couple, they protect this nest. You see the eggs. And from this nest, they have a cone view, the fish eye, what we call. So as the light goes till their eye, whatever sees from this part, it's their territory, what we call. Anyone who disturbs this area, they consider it as a potential threat for them. They even chase the sharks away. So if you are inside this as a snorkeler or diver, they don't hesitate to chase you away. They bite. They actually bite. They bite your fins, they bite your hand, they bite your head or leg. So you need to be very careful about these guys. Other than that, no fish would attack you. Okay. So you also heard that how do we avoid this attack from this fish? Someone said you can also destroy their nest, but it's an easy way what we find as a human. But you can understand why they do it. because you're inside this vision. As long as if you're here, if you're as a diver, you can go low, so you can reduce yourself from being in that vision. If you're a snorkel, you swim away from this. They don't disturb you. As long as you're outside their territory, you're safe. You don't find them throughout the year. It's only nesting season, which happens once or twice a year. And the dive masters or the dive guide who takes you for diving, they're always aware of it. They keep you away from this. Yeah.
Are there particular seasons that are best for diving as well?
Places like Maldives, you can dive throughout the year. Even if it's raining on the top, underwater, it's quiet, calm, it's beautiful. Places like in India, we have very strong monsoon. If you're diving on the east coast, on west coast, you need to talk to the dive centers there and understand what's the right time to dive.
Are there any precautions that divers should take if they're in troubled waters?
Troubled water, maybe?
Bad currents or rains? Or
Yes.
things like that?
So the dives are planned with lots of experience, and always you should dive within your limit. Let's say like I did 100 dive, I know everything, I go to a new place now. So I can't say this, I know everything in this place. In this place, you're still a new beginner diver, right? You have to respect this place and you need to understand the guidance of this place and you need to respect it. Yeah.
So tell us, Divewithshetty, do you need to know swimming to scuba dive?
I would say no. Anyone can dive. Even if you don't know how to swim, you can still try diving. To get certified, once you're certified, you become more independent. In this case, it's recommended to know swimmings and basic skills so that you're more comfortable with the water. But just to experience your first dive, what you call introduction scuba diving or discover scuba diving, you don't need to know how to swim.
Have you ever seen a doomsday fish or anything similar bizarre underwater?
So usually the night dives are most fascinating. You see something all alien-like creatures. There are things what you see in a night dive, you cannot imagine something like this exists in ocean. But it's not like the doomsday fish, but it's like alien-like creatures. What you see just like a rock in the morning, in the night it might start moving, it starts feeding. The coral starts feeding in the night. The crustaceans starts moving everywhere. The eels are more active in the night. So in the night, I personally believe the life what you see in the night dive is more than what you see in a day dive. So you see alien creatures.
Wow, I'm getting like an avatar feeling in my head right now.
Yes, if you're on the right time, right place, you see very, very fascinating creatures underwater in the night.
Have you ever experienced bioluminescence underwater?
Yes. So bioluminescence or the planktons, they are present in all the parts of the ocean. Their density might change from different parts to parts. Example, in Kapu, Udupi, you see them like years to year, the waves glow. And when you do the night dive, almost all the time, you just make yourself dark and you move your hand, everything around you glows. It's like fireflies around you. And places like Maldives, during the seasons, the bioluminescence, the what you call planktons, they come to the shore and the beach is lit up, every wave cracks. So it's a plankton. It's their defensive mechanism. We get fascinated, but they protect themselves by glowing underwater. Yeah.
Always heard about going to Mangalore and seeing this glowing water.
Yeah, there's also River Shambhavi which joins the sea. I think like few years back or even now during the season they make a kayaking. So you can kayak in this backwater and you see the bioluminescence right next to you. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay. Are dolphins generally friendly as we imagine them?
Dolphins are mammals. They are more curious. They are smarter. They are very curious. Depending on the place to place, they are friendly. Like for a diver, it's very rare they come close to you because of the sounds of bubble that makes them stay away. But still, like places like Egypt, you can dive with the dolphins. They are very close to this. They are smart animals. So they are friendly, but they're fast moving. But you don't get to interact with them as like any other fish.
Have you interacted with any sharks?
I did dive with many sharks. Like recently, like even yesterday, I did some dive with sharks in Maldives. There's a place called Shark Tank. In one place, you see like 7 different sharks, from tiger, bull, hammerhead. lemon sharks, nurse sharks, and black tip spinners, and what I think white tip sharks or grey reef sharks. So you see like these different types of sharks on every day. But diving with shark is like you're diving with predators. Like you need to be careful, you need to know them, you need to respect them. How much you're confident diver you are, you always respect the ocean.
Are they considered to be safe?
On a safe way of diving, yes, you don't misuse them. Like especially in Maldives, they feed the shark to keep them in a one place. It's not feeding them to attract them, just feeding them so we know they're focused on one point, not that everywhere. So that doesn't mean you don't take a fish and you go with your hand. So there were also shark attacks in Maldives in the same dive sites. One was because instructor was holding a tuna head in his hand and like playing with this. So you don't do this with shark because it's a shark. Right now, once you hold it, the whole you is something to eat, something smells like fish. So you follow the protocols, how to be safe, and always find the safe guidelines like driving in the traffic. Yeah, you always want to stay on the safer side.
Are sharks generally attracted to human blood? Is that true?
No, because they don't know what we are and we are not their food. The shark usually eats what belongs in the ocean. So sharks can also, as their predator, they are built in every which way to sense their prey. They can feel if a fish is moving faster, they can feel it. They can use their sensors to understand the behavior of other fish. They can smell, they have very good smelling sense. They can smell a drop of blood in 1,000 drops of water. A drop of fish blood, I would clarify it, drop of fish blood in 1,000 drops of water. They have such good sense, but human blood is not we are not their food. They are not attracted towards just to come and eat. But yes, when there are certain behaviors of us which makes them feel like this person or this animal is this is hurt, or this is now it looks like a prey. You swim away faster, you make a fast body movement, you scare them. So most of the time it might also attack just because to protect itself from us. So we are not their potential food, and they don't wait for human to get in the water so that they can go and eat.
What would be the right way to, if I'm facing a shark right now in front of me, what would be my immediate movement next?
So what we do, we run away, right? So that's no. So it's like if a stray dog is next to you and if you try to run away, it's going to chase you back, right? And we cannot swim faster than shark. So you face it, you stop, you face, and you look at it and you try to divert them. So there are sharks like tiger shark. There are expert divers, even in Maldives, or like there are like how I said, Ocean Ramsey. They guide you on how to divert the shark to different way. If it comes to you, face it, you stop, and you give your hand and move it gently, like firm, gentle move to a different direction. That doesn't mean you go in the water, you moving your legs super fast. This is a sign that you move fast. That's a sign that you are not comfortable. That attracts any other fish, sharks or any fish. You're in a distress. So that's why you learn step by step, and if you're a comfortable person, it's also one of the move with the experts. They push the sharks away. You can have a contact with them and you show them who is the boss,
Wow, that's good to know.
But that doesn't mean tomorrow you go and start pushing them.
Yeah, we should be aware of that. Okay, so how do you interact with marine creatures? Is there a code of conduct or like an instinct that you have?
So most of the fish, they stay in their particular spaces. Like almost as you dive as a diver, you go around the reef and you see the fish which is in the reef. So these reefs are their house. They stay connected to this place. They don't go very far. This is their house, they stay there, and this is their world. So you maintain a safe distance from them. You don't do a behavior which triggers them, because if someone comes close to our house, we want to protect our house. Same behavior from them. So we give the enough respect and stay away from them. We have this personal space, and then it's okay.
So are sharks being threatened in the world right now?
Right now, I would say no. but there was a time sharks were threatened. So as we are talking more about Maldives, in Maldives they have many sharks. So few years back, before 2000 or 2010, there was no shark conservation in Maldives. It was openly fished for Chinese market. So Chinese market was fully influenced to get the shark fin soup. So it's very famous delicacy, but there is no protein or there is nothing out of it. Just shark fin soup it's a delicacy. Okay, so they catch shark just to cut their fins off and they leave the rest of the shark. But shark is a fish which has to keep swimming all the time. If it cannot swim, it will die. So that's how most of the sharks went towards extinction. And as the conservation took place and now it's in a safer side, Maldives realized that killing a shark and selling it gives you some money, but letting sharks stay in the same place, bringing people to see this shark, gives you more money. It's for a long term. They learned this in a hard way and now they started conservating. And shark is also stays on the top of the ecosystem, and it's very good to have the predators. Like if the sharks doesn't eat the next fish, whatever it's supposed to eat, the population of this fish is going to increase and they're going to eat their chain, and that chain is going to be fully extinct because all the midline ate everything and there is nothing of this lifestyle. So you're fully imbalancing the food cycle.
Food chain, yeah.
Yeah, food chain.
Amazing. That's really good to know.
Yeah.
Would you at some point in your career want to come back to India and make like the future of scuba bigger in India?
Yes, I would always want to live in India. I like my country. I did travel few countries, but India is still the best country. Not maybe because I was born, but we have a very rich culture, which we are losing now, but still we have somewhere. Diving is a future industry for India still. I think in coming years, the next generation, if they don't use their phone so much and start doing something, India will have a greater future on this. We are close to Andaman and Nicobar, we are close to Lakshadweep, we are close to Maldives, and we are also close to the Thailand, and like these are all the beautiful part. So people from Europe travel all the way till Maldives, all the way till Thailand to come and dive, but we are just few hours away from this. So it's easy and faster access to us compared to rest of the world. Just we don't have this culture of diving yet. I think near future we will explore this and start diving more.
So talking about these dreams and futures, for someone who is stuck in a corporate job and wants to sort of have a aspirational career like yours, is there a piece of advice that you have? Never
stop yourself from doing something new. If there is option, just try it, and then you know what it is. Don't listen to other person advice that, hey, I tried it, it's not nice. It's just not nice for him. You might like it, so don't stop it.
We did speak very briefly about what your favorite underwater movie was. I said Nemo. You were not very inspired by it. Do you have yours, that you have a favorite one?
Recently I watched a documentary or a movie called, it's very old, like 2-3 years, My Octopus Teacher. I think everyone should watch it. How a person can get attached to fish. It's kind of story like how I met a fish, but it's more nicely done, and you can see what you can learn from this creatures. There's also something called puff. I think puff as a tiny puffer fish, how it survives in the wild. So these are the beautiful movies and documentaries which one can watch here.
So if you could dive with any historical or fictional character, who would it be and where?
Historical or fictional character? I don't know.
Maybe somebody fun that you would want to teach, or somebody fun you would want to dive with.
I would like to dive with someone who initially started diving, maybe like the one who explored diving, one who understood the concept of diving, to teach, to see like how his perspective was. Like the person who thought, oh, we can go underwater with the tank, like he started evolving his ideas, or what made him go through this, and now he sees this modern equipments and how we can stay longer and these things. Maybe it would be nice to meet him if I could time travel.
Share one underwater experience that words can't do justice to. One experience that you have underwater.
Maybe I need to think about it.
Yeah, there's 3,000 dives to think about.
So with my experience, I understood. I taught many divers, many students. Diving with the student and diving with the loved one is a different. So when you dive with the student, you see them as a student. You have everything under control. You make sure things work right for them. You keep them safe. But diving with your loved one is, you have a different affection towards it. Like, I think first time when I did my dive with my girlfriend is like something, a different experience for me than I usually teach as an instructor and to dive. That I could still say that's a beautiful part of it.
Well, thank you so much for your time, and this was an amazing, revealing conversation. I myself will definitely want to come and dive with Shetty, and yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you so much for all your time. Yeah.